All right. Hello, everyone. Hey, Mashan. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Busy week, but it's a special occasion today, right? Because we're in 2023, so that means that we're chatting about some incoming movies, but with some friends this time, not just the two of us.
Yeah, we
And
got the
friends we had
average
last
J's
year,
with
right?
us. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got the average J's. They're going to be talking the most anticipated movies of 2023 with us. So we really hope you enjoy. And let's strap in.
Yes, sir.
Fred, is there a micro delay in your conversation?
There was like a tiny thing with you, I think, but it was like a second and a half or something, not huge. But you
Yeah,
noticed something on on your end? Okay.
a very minor, I think. Did anyone
Yeah, it
My
else
was
have?
like
connection is
maybe
good.
half a second.
Yeah,
Yeah. My connection is good though. I don't know
it
about
seems
yours,
better
but
now. I think just maybe when we
Yeah.
started, there was like a pause. Do you want to do it again
so
just
do we
to be
redo it
sure?
or sure?
It's up to you guys.
Just
Yeah,
If you guys
I think
want
it's
to.
because I think
Not
yeah,
right
just.
sure.
when we spoke, I think there was a gap, and then I think there was an over talk at the same time. So probably better
All right.
just we'll go from the beginning again.
Yeah, one more
Okay.
for the road.
One more
Yep.
for the
And just
road.
hit me with the thumbs up when you're done.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, we'll do.
So,
All right. And we are live. Hey Sean, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm fine, man. Thank you so much. So yeah, we're back for another episode of 2023. Discussing, I think, our best picks for the year, what we're excited about. But we have some friends with us this time, friends we've had last year that we're really happy to see again.
Yeah, we got the average J's on the show today. We're going to be talking most anticipated movies 2023. There are a ton of movies coming out this year, so we can't wait to break down what we're excited for, what maybe not excited for, and our shared love of the big screen this year. So let's strap in, grab a drink, enjoy.
Enjoy, guys.
Okay, cool. And then. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
By the way, Sean, what are you drinking this evening?
Bourbon.
Hey, perfect. You had the Long Branch, right? Because you picked out the bottle.
I bought a Long Branch, but I'm drinking Woodford.
Right.
You like that Woodford, right? All right.
Dude, it's the first time I've had it on the show.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm ready now. My bad.
You ready? All right,
So-
let's do it.
3, 2, 1. And we're back. Hello, everybody. We are coming back at you yet again in 2023, but this time we brought some people along for the ride. So with us today, we have the Film and Spirits podcast, and we are talking about the most anticipated movies of 2023. As always, I'm Jay, Justin Ruiz.
And I'm Jay, Jeremy Francois.
So buckle up, and we're going to have a good one, guys.
Yes, we will.
All right. So now that's done. So now let's just get into it.
Let's get into it.
So yeah, a round table, I think, of
Yeah,
basically what a movie we have in mind, and we can.
Well, I
it,
wanted to just ask, what is Justin drinking before we like?
yeah,
Okay.
sure.
So as you know, for the average Jays fans out there, if you're not watching listening to Film and Spirits, please go ahead and do that. They always break down a movie or a topic, but the main thing is you got to have a spirit with you. So for today, I'm actually drinking. I'm holding it up to the camera like this is a video or a stream, but
We're gonna have to
I'm actually
describe
drinking
in
Not
detail.
Your Father's root beer. I'm not a huge weekly drinker or whatever, but once in a while I do like to crack one of these open. It's a hard root beer, and I've had this for years now at this point. But it's so smooth. It's such a nice, it's just such a nice drink. It never gives me any issues. You know, you barely have that like alcohol in the back. It's not a really harsh sting or anything like that. It's just really smooth. And as a root beer connoisseur, I enjoy it.
I've never actually heard of this before, so this sounds very interesting to me.
Yeah, so it's called, the brand is Not Your Father's, and they actually have, and I couldn't find it in the store, but they have a cream soda which is like perfection, and then they
I
also
love
have a
cream
creamsicle.
Yeah.
They also have a creamsicle one.
I wonder
So
if that's available up here in the Great White North, because that's something that I don't think I've ever seen before, at least not consciously.
It's awesome. I've had it for years now. I don't even know.
Did I try it when I was there, or I don't recall?
No, because I actually I just found this right right before the wedding. I just found this
because you
out
always
here
talked about
because
it, and I totally forgot.
I used to have it in New York. It was a constant in my fridge, and now I finally found it in Florida. So now it's there.
Now we need to get some sponsorship from these guys.
Yes,
Right?
Because we were
do.
singing their high praises.
That is
That's
true.
right. Fred, what are you drinking?
I'm on. Well, you know me, man. I'm on bourbon as well because what I said last time is that everybody in my family and my close friends think that I only drink bourbon, which is not true. I
But I
drink
think it's
scotch
becoming
as
like
well.
the perpetuated myth about you.
Yeah, I know. So this bottle I didn't have last time, but my girlfriend bought me back a bottle from the States. So of Old Forester.
Oh,
100
I like the
proof.
bottle too.
Yeah, it looks classy.
Humongous, big.
Yeah.
There's a lot of liquid in there, but I need to put some ice on it because it's for 50% ABV. So this one is a knocker, so I need to be careful there. But it's a solid bourbon. It's good, man. There's like a little chocolate flavor there that I quite like. So I thanked the girlfriend for the nice Christmas present. So that's what I'm having this evening.
Yeah,
Now, Jay, what are you having?
Well,
so I was telling Justin that I came prepared because I got a gift from Hungary. It's called Unicum Silva. I may be mispronouncing it wrong. I did do my research because I had to bring my A game to this. It's a liqueur. It's a fruity taste. I haven't tried it yet, so this will be my first time trying it on air.
Nice.
So the listeners will probably tell me or listen in and be like, that's not a good drink if he doesn't like it. But having looked it up, it's a fruity taste, and then it has this like bitter, spicy aftertaste. So I'm kind of hyped to taste it, but I'm a little bit.
It sounds kind of like
what am I
like a
thinking?
cider or something.
It does. Like I had it up here. It was like bittersweet fruit, and there's a lot of herbs in there, and then it's like citrus with chili heat. So it's like,
based on what you're saying and like what the bottle looks like, it looks like an elixir or something.
Yeah, exactly. You look like a magic
when my friend's girlfriend got it for me and my cousin, and I was like, I just wanted to like throw it in the ground like it was God of War and just like, like an elixir and just like put my HP back up.
I've been playing God of War Ragnarok ever since Christmas.
Oh.
So I know
same.
what you mean.
We're all in the same boat.
We'll reconvene and talk about that because I know me and Justin aren't done. Oh, well, he's ahead of me.
I'm not done either.
Well, actually, I finished the main story today, right before.
Oh, wow. You're so cool.
Yeah. Now I've been trying to juggle that and Elden Ring, and it's just so hard to juggle both because
that's
they're both time commitments. Yeah. I'm drinking Woodford Reserve because apparently I'm getting into bourbon now because apparently that's all I drink. Apparently, ever since I tried it over at Fred's place, I'm just like, I need some bourbon. I went over on the Christmas break and I bought the Long Branch bourbon, which is Matthew McConaughey's drink. Tried it at Fred's place. I'm like, I need a bottle of my own. But that's not what I'm drinking today. I have Woodford, which kind of tastes a little bit like the Long Branch. It is a smoother drink. It's a lighter, fruitier option. Been drinking it over the break. Really liked it and wanted to have it on the show. So Kentucky bourbon, and like I said, not a smoky one, not a coarse one. It's very light, but that seems to be where I'm gravitating more towards when it comes to bourbon. I definitely like this more than like Wild Turkey 101, for example.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
it's
a good spirit for old fashioned. So if you want to make yourself an old fashioned, Woodford is a good choice. So good, man. Cheers, gentlemen. It's really a pleasure to see you again.
Yeah,
so
nice seeing you guys again.
To our screens.
Yes,
All
I'm
right.
happy we got to do this.
Me too.
Yeah, of
We've
course.
been trying to work it out for a few weeks now, and now we have it in the books. So I'll put it out there. Knee jerk. what is your most anticipated movie of the year? Like the most. We'll go around.
Number one.
Number one.
One.
Wow,
One
that's
you can't wait for.
We don't start soft here. It's only
No, we don't start
all the important stuff. Yeah.
But I want to see where we vary and where we go off the script a little bit, because what my most anticipated might not be the same, and that's just how we're going to get that conversation rolling. So, Justin, knee jerk, what is
number one? My number one most anticipated movie is Super Mario Brothers.
The number one movie.
The
That's
number
cool,
I
man.
like.
Good
You know, we
pick.
spoke off air.
Yeah.
We spoke off
Yeah.
air, and I ranked all of mine. I went through this big list, and that is number one for me.
So we're a big Mario fan growing up, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was definitely the very first video game I ever played on the original NES, like Super Mario Bros, the arcade one. And yeah, I mean, it's been a staple in my life probably since I was like 2 or 3 years old.
Okay, so what has you excited for the movie? Like specifically, apart from it being just Mario.
So I actually, when the cast list broke was like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, I fell in love from that. So the cast list broke. It was actually leaked beforehand. So I was like over the moon. The one thing that I was like a hiccup on was Chris Pratt being Mario, but everything else I was like, damn, they nailed this. Like this is gonna be
I would
fantastic.
agree to that.
From what we've heard in the trailer, I think Jack Black as Bowser.
I thought it was
crushing
perfect.
it. Yeah.
I have no
Yes,
idea
yeah.
why he hasn't been Bowser before. Like I have no clue why. But yeah, after that, then Nintendo formally announced it, and Miyamoto gave it his blessing on top of saying like everything he's seen is so great, the voice cast is awesome. So that just like really drove it into the ground for me. Once Miyamoto was like, yes, then I was like, oh, this is it. This is the
Like a
one.
seal
It's
of
gonna be
approval.
good. Yeah. So I've been following this thing like a hawk ever since we first caught wind, and I'm just excited to see it be brought to the big screen, done correctly, and
Yes, done correctly. That's the key
yeah,
word.
done correctly is the big one. But
We're looking at
With-
you, Bob Hoskins.
and John Leguizamo. You know what?
Yeah.
John Leguizamo is kind of on my my crap list because he was talking some big game.
He was talking smack.
When everyone was excited for it.
Love the guy, but he's in the doghouse.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm just excited to see that. And I think with 2023, there's a lot of properties that are coming out that are important properties. So this one being a video game franchise and being done by Illumination, having this all-star cast, I think it really has the momentum to push not only this franchise forward, but other projects that will come behind it due to the success.
Yeah.
So
that's
kind of
what
like
video games in general.
video games, but also
Nintendo
any other type
video
of
games, I would say.
Yeah, Nintendo video games for sure, because there's a bunch of projects that we were supposed to get and they all fell through.
Wasn't Netflix supposed to do like a Zelda series?
So we were supposed to get a live action Zelda and then a stop motion Star Fox. So and it never
Nice.
came to fruition. But I think this is the kind of like the boon
Guillermo
that
del
they
Toro's
need.
Star Fox.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, it was
Oh.
supposed to be based on Wes Anderson's Fantastic Mr. Fox. Apparently that was the animation style they were going for.
And I love that movie too. So that would have been perfect.
So it got canned, but yeah, I think this is gonna push not only Nintendo franchises, but maybe other video game stories, and kind of give it the momentum that some pop culture products need, to actually be seen and be shown as like a real story or a world that can get built out, similar to the same position that Last of Us is in right now. Like this is gonna mean so much for the next 5 to 10 years.
If it sticks to landing,
succeeds.
it'll have the exact opposite effect of what Halo did.
Yes.
Yeah, Fred saw Halo. I haven't.
So, yeah.
Wait,
it was.
I still haven't watched.
You love it?
No, I hated it.
Oh, you hated it. Okay, because I've only seen the first episode, and I remember me and Justin we spoke about it when pilot dropped, and later on I found out he takes off his mask. But like when I saw the first episode, he takes it off in the first episode, and I just feel like there's less emotion when his mask is off. but that's just me seeing the first episode. But I do want to finish it just to make a solid opinion, but I'm probably going to feel like you guys, because I'm sure we're all Halo fans here, and having you guys seeing that.
Like man to man, like forget it. It's not even worth your time, to be honest. It's the Halo
You know
show.
what it is? You're probably right, because I'm rewatching Andor and I'm putting that first.
yeah, for sure. Do that. Halo is not good. And talking about the mask being off, I think that in terms of percentages, I think that 60% of the screen time of Master Chief, he has it off, which is, I think, sacrilegious for us Halo gamers. But no,
That's
it's
so
just
sad.
not well written. Special effects are okay. Sometimes they're lacking. Story is ludicrous. And they don't do the characters justice.
But if it's not like, not to hang on this, and we spoke about this, me and Justin, Last of Us did it great. That you have to have fans of the game to adapt it. It doesn't have to be literally the same thing. But for Halo, for it not trusting Master Chief's mask to do the work, then that's just like one in the few things. But then saying that the story is not good, that I'm gonna join your boat and just say meh.
No, I messaged Fred on Monday, and I was just like, Fred, Last of Us? ? And I'm like, you have to go watch Last of Us.
I know, but what I told Sean is that I'm gonna wait until all the episodes are available, because right now I think I have so many series to finish, so many movies to watch, plus the job. I'm just like, I can't. It's too much content. I need to make choices.
You're also gonna get, like, if you were to watch it just like everyone else, you would get immediately feral, like, for more episodes, and we have to wait now weekly, because I saw that first episode and I watched it with my wife. She's into zombies and thriller stuff. She's never seen the game or anything, but I watched it and we were both like on the edge of our seats. Like, I was smiling like an idiot because of all the game references. Like, it's so good.
I agree with that. Definitely just wait.
Drugs.
Yeah.
All right. So Super Mario for you, Justin. So I guess next, Sean, do you want to go second? So if you have to choose your top one for 2023, what would that be?
The top one.
Dune Part 2.
For sure it was.
He took mine. We're going to have to talk about
this. Unsurprising.
We're going to talk about that.
Of course.
So I loved Dune Part 1. It was my movie of the year when it came out. I thought Denis Villeneuve's adaptation was flawless. He understood it. He was very passionate about it.
Yes.
So when it finally got greenlit, we're doing Part 2. I was just like, I'm automatically on board. The additions to the cast look great. Like Austin Butler is going to be in it. Léa Seydoux, Christopher Walken. And I just really want to see the conclusion of the first book. Yeah. Essentially, we've only had half the story. One of the main problems I've had with the first Dune was that it didn't feel like a 3-act structure. It felt like an act and a half. So when you have both of them, you'll have the whole 3-act structure over 2 movies. So I just want to see the end of the story.
Agreed. It reminds me of, like, remember, like, every Easter, and I'm sure they still do this, I believe it's on ABC, they would play the 10 Commandments. And I remember back in the day when we had VHS, that was 2 cassettes or maybe 3. So that's what it feels like. I have one cassette and I'm waiting for the other.
I remember Titanic was 2 VHS.
Oh yes,
I had that one too. Yeah,
but I watched 10 Commandments more than Titanic. I can say that with full confidence.
My edition of Dune, because I have the Blu-ray at home, but I got the Walmart collector's edition.
Ooh.
And so it's the original like Blu-ray, like in its
is it steel?
Plastic wrap. It's not steel. This is what the unique thing that it does. It has the original like Blu-ray that you buy off the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's this thicker box. It just says Dune on it. And it's black and it says Dune down the side.
Mm-hmm.
And you pop the box open and there's 2 sleeves inside the box. You have part 1 and you nestle part 2 next to it when it comes out.
Oh, they knew.
That's awesome.
Put it on the shelf and it's just Dune. That's the collection. It's in one set. And then it came with like a faux movie prop where the you know when he puts his hand in the box?
Yes.
That's the slip case.
Ooh, I like
Oh,
that.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Put that
What was
in
it? The
case.
Gom Jabbar? I believe
Yeah,
it was
the Gom
called.
Jabbar.
Jabbar, yeah.
So that's where the slipcase went in, and I was
That's
just like,
cool.
that's awesome. So
Yeah, I love how they get creative because I know Best Buy is very exclusive with their steel books, but like you got like Walmart or any like Target, they do something different, and that's pretty dope.
So that's why I'm excited. But why are you excited for Dune?
Again, so I don't know if I mentioned this in our recordings, Justin, but I remember talking to Justin, and it took me a while to read the book. So if you guys don't know, I'm a very slow reader, but luckily they had the audiobook, so I would listen to it while I'm reading. And I had the speed, or I get the narration sped up a little bit so I can get through it faster. So I was trying to finish it before the movie. And again, just same thing. Dennis knew, he understood it. So everything I saw on screen, I saw in the book. Even the scene in the Gom Jabbar scene, I remember him in an interview saying that he wishes that wow, I'm forgetting the author's name. It's like escaping me right now.
Herbert.
Thank you. He wishes that he could have seen that scene just to get his viewpoint, saying like, if this is like how it is, like he can just get his point of view on that. But I'm gonna move on because you already said Dune. I do have another placeholder. Rebel Moon by Zack Snyder.
Nice. That's just
a
got
good
its
one.
release date today.
And yes, I saw that, but like me and my friends always talk about it. I can't wait. But one thing I said about like, there's barely any information on it. I'm a Zack Snyder fan in the sense that I love the artiste. He may not have like hit movies like in the past. Like I know he did like 300 and all these other movies, but he's an artist, and that's what I like about him. So I'm very hyped for Rebel Moon. But the one thing about this is that the release date is in late 2023, which is funny because Star Wars usually releases their movies around that time, and I thought it was just the gall and the audacity of Zack Snyder to put it there, because he was supposed to do a Star Wars movie, but they was just like, no, we don't want it. So he retconned his story.
Do you think it's him like
he removed all the Star Wars from his Star Wars movie?
Basically. Do you think it's him like trying to throw shade, or do you think it's like an homage?
I don't think it's to throw shade, but in my opinion, I'll say he's trying to throw shade. Okay. But I don't. He's such a nice person that I don't think he would do that.
True.
I think it's more like a wink. Like there's no Star Wars
like
this
a
year,
cheeky wink.
I'll give you some Star Wars.
It's like, hey, December. This is when Star Wars comes out. He's twirling his non-existent mustache
as opposed to on the big screen.
Yeah. Oh, that would Zack Snyder's in a special place with the fandom right now, and I think he knows that he has our intentions. So anything he does, we're just like, we're there for it, basically. So good for him. That's a good choice.
For a good list. I want to wait until I see what it looks like, but I've seen some of the concept art, and it's just, visually speaking, it's almost this weird clash of like Star Wars and Warhammer. I thought that was a good way to describe it. Like some of the soldiers, like Gaunt's ghosts or something like that.
Yeah, even some behind the scenes, like when you see him on set, obviously it's not polished, but you can just look behind him and you're like, oh, that looks cool. Like I wonder what that would look like. There's a picture of him
heavily into the Kurosawa aspects as well, which I'm very intrigued about. So like Zack Snyder by way of Kurosawa, I mean, that can either go really well or really bad. But I applaud the swing.
Agreed.
It's a swing for the fences for sure.
I'm excited for that one though.
Yeah.
And then
tell me your knee-jerk number one. What do you want?
I don't think I'm gonna be that original, but I think that if I have just like, I don't know, top of mind, I think of 2023. I think of Indiana Jones 5. I mean, it's been what? How long since we had the fourth one? It was 2008. And
definitely over 10 years.
Definitely over 10 years, and 15 years, and it was, I think, pretty much a stinker for everybody. And
I watched considering it for the first time in 2022,
I know, which is crazy that she did that.
I just dogged Crystal Skull because I was like, don't want it tarnished.
But this is a special one because it's officially Harrison Ford's final film, Well, I mean, the guy's 80, so I guess it makes sense. But I don't know. I'm curious where they're gonna go because they feel like they're gonna retcon a lot of what Crystal Skull did. I like the fact that they bring back old characters like Sala, and you have this mysterious woman who is this goddaughter that's Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And just like the whole de-aging Harrison Ford, and he looks awesome in those like prologue scenes when they de-aged him. So yeah, like how to get back in time, giving us back that really good indie vibe from the 80s, while also like respecting the character in the current era in the 1960s in his old age, and trying to adapt with time and with the time and the Apollo missions and how people are in the 60s. I think that's brilliant. That's good.
Yeah.
Plus, James Mangold is a great director, so I think we're in for something good. I'm excited
on a
for
hot
it.
streak lately. Like he's done Ford v Ferrari. He did Logan before that, and 310 to Yuma was I think 10 years ago at this point. But
310 to Yuma is a beautiful movie.
It's a good film. Yeah, I've seen it recently. Actually, I've never saw it, but it's good. No, a good director, James Mangold. Good cinematography, good characters, good story overall. I think he's really well balanced. Really I think that's the word. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
And then
I'm actually happy with Indy 5. I'm happy with Indy 5 because they even announced that they're gonna talk about like Shia LaBeouf's character. They're gonna mention like what happened, so they're not 100% retconning. They're gonna, explain away some stuff, which is cool. Because I might be like the only one here, but I actually enjoyed the character of Mutt, and I was like, I would have liked to see him be the cocky new age Indy, but I get why they're leaving things in the past.
No, they can't do that now.
But... Also, I don't think anyone wants to work with Shia LaBeouf anymore.
And then there's that,
There's that.
No, there were some good parts to explore, but Mutt is not my top character. But I mean, I would be down to see Karen Allen again as Marion, maybe like in one cameo or something. But what
I think you should expect it.
Sean and I would have a bet going is like, okay, so considering this is actually Harrison Ford's final film, there are still like original trilogy characters who can still come back. And what we think is that if they are going to try to continue this franchise in some way without Harrison, Short Round from Temple of Doom could come back, and he had a really good year. What's his again?
Ke Huy
Quan. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. With Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like he's super hot right now. Everybody wants to work with him. So I'm pretty sure they're keeping this a secret, and he's going to be back in this film.
I would be very surprised if he doesn't show up in a scene.
I'm sure he will be there. Yeah,
like like an end credit scene.
Maybe not credit, or maybe even like just like in the movie, like an assistance, like Indy's in trouble, and then like Short Round comes in like unexpectedly, and like we're all like happy to see him again. But then maybe like 2 weeks after release, Disney Plus limited series, like Short Round. It's gonna be like 6 episodes.
Oh, that would be so cool.
I'm sure they're gonna do something like that for sure.
That would work. You have to be like at least considering it.
Yeah.
And if they're not, that's a problem.
Because they did that with National Treasure? There's a short series, which I don't know.
It's a series. I don't think it connects to the original films.
But the thing is, I think it's just the name. If you're a fan of that franchise, then you're like, I'm gonna go check this out.
In the show, the hacker techie dude. He's a carryover character.
Gotcha.
Because they are still making the third one too. They just announced that it's like filming or in the middle of filming or something like that.
Which interesting.
Nick
Cage is also one of those actors on a bit of like a comeback lately.
Yeah, he's gonna be
he goes to sleep.
When he plays himself with Pedro Pascal in that movie.
I forget that was one of my favorite movies of last year. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. It was like my number 5 movie.
Oh wow!
It was. I loved it. It was funny. It was endearing. Like it was just. It was the right movie.
No, it's called the Unbearable Weight
of Massive Talent.
Yeah. And like, I feel like Nick Cage is one of those actors where he'll go to sleep for 5 years and then come out with 17 projects.
He can always come back.
Yeah.
He was in that Spider-Man. He was in Spider-Verse as Spider-Man Noir. Like he was just behind the scenes, and he's just like starting to show his face, sleep for 5 years, then come back and then sleep for like he can just do it.
I think he's gaining more respect for who he is and what he's done. So I think that he's getting that recognition and be implicated in bigger project because he's been here long enough. And giving the right script, I think he's not bad. He's not a bad actor with the good script. So yeah, I think that's what's happening with him.
Yeah, and Community helped. It just knows what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yes, it did help. It did help a lot.
So
but it's a good round of top ones. Good
one
movies,
I know we were at least all excited for because we talked about it briefly before the show. But I know Oppenheimer's probably on our list as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of nods.
Yes.
Oppenheimer made it to my. Oppenheimer is number 9 on my list.
I mean, for the director to recreate a nuclear explosion on screen, just for make it as real as possible, I think that's something that's unheard of. So yeah.
But is it like to do? Was it just to do like the mushroom cloud or the actual explosion itself?
So I don't know. He did all practical effects to recreate the actual explosion, like from footage that they have.
Explosion.
Yeah, it's like, so it is going to be the mushroom cloud, but it's like he wanted it just as big and just as grand as the actual.
I see what you're saying. Got it. Okay.
But like when you think about it, if he used all practical effects, like what did he have? Like 5,000 sticks of dynamite just in one.
We did joke about that. Where like the budget was just that, and they were like, "I'm just gonna do everything else for free. Just film the rest of the movie for free."
Yeah. Cillian Murphy took a hit on his pay because of that scene.
In my best worst Peaky Blinder accent, big. We won't see the explosion.
Not bad. Not bad.
Take a pay cut. Take a pay cut.
That's better than mine. I'll say that. No, I'm stoked for this. Because what was the last movie? Was it Tenet?
Tenet,
which I know Fred and I saw on the big screen. It was the first like return to COVID
to theaters.
Theaters in the middle of COVID.
No, we saw something first before Tenet, but this was, I think, our biggest movie return. The major blockbuster, the first one we saw after COVID. But I still enjoyed Tenet. I know it's a mind fuck. Sorry for the language. Watching that film because it's so complicated. But it's still good. There's a lot of good scenes, but yeah.
I think it's mixed for a lot of people. Like I enjoy it. I have it on Blu-ray. I'm just spending more time to forget about it so I can rewatch it again. Because there's certain things I picked up on it. Even throughout the movie, I was picking up and explaining to my friends as we were watching it for the first time. They're like, "Oh, that makes sense." I will agree though. You guys probably have a different experience because I watched it on Blu-ray in my TV. It was hard of hearing certain things. Would you guys have the same experience?
For everybody, I don't know what he was doing with sound in that film because maybe he judged that the dialogue wasn't important enough because we can't hear the character talking. Like I'm just what it's so complicated. I mean, if it was a rom-com, it would be something else. But you're talking about nuclear physics and playing with time.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
You need to understand what your characters are saying. Dude,
exactly.
Come on.
Which does have me a little worried for Oppenheimer, considering it seems to be a bit of a trend for Nolan to have very bizarre sound mixing. He's dealing with Interstellar.
He's been getting a lot of
rises.
Yeah, and
all these negative composers go nuts, like Ludwig Göransson and Hans Zimmer. Just go nuts, guys.
We're just gonna put it over the movie.
Pound the keyboard, just hold the note,
just layer it in on top of the movie, and don't worry about covering the vocals.
Yeah, people can read lips now.
That's exactly what he's saying. But yeah, I think that's a trend with his movies now, because like after Interstellar, I believe, which to me is a great movie, it's top 5 for me. Then after that, it was
very
Dunkirk.
Different opinions on that one.
Yeah, to each his own, And then Dunkirk came out, and that is it's a non-fictional fiction because it's based on historical.
Yeah, the characters are a mix of real and fictitious characters.
Yeah, but I love the way he told the story. It wasn't for me because it was like when I think of Chris Nolan, I think of science fiction. So then when he came out with Tenet, I was like, ooh, I'm very excited for this. So I remember walking into the theater with my friend to see us. I forget what movie we were seeing, and I saw the Oppenheimer box set up, and I was like, "What if Oppenheimer is science fiction?" So it's just hard to tell. I think it's just gonna be nonfiction. There's no sci-fi in it, but it would be dope if we had hints.
Biopic.
Yeah. But I don't know. Nolan could surprise us. He could just throw it in there in the middle of the theater, like just waiting.
Batman's gonna swing in. That's Christian Bale's return to the character. Bale's return. He's gonna swing in and save.
He went back in time
from the nuke. Yep.
It's possible though that maybe in like the exploration of physics, we could get enter the mind of Oppenheimer, and we can sort of see the world how he sees it. And that could allow for Nolan to explore a bit more abstract.
Because Nolan does have this obsession of time in all its I guess meaning. So the way he told Dunkirk is time related. It's not there's sci-fi in it, but with the way he cut the footage was time. It's just the way he was telling the story. He may do the same with Oppenheimer. I can see Oppenheimer with the tools of not The Following, but what's his other successful movie? One of his
Memento?
first. Yes, Memento. I can see it being like Memento. I don't know why.
Oh, that would be interesting.
I can feel
linear storytelling.
Yeah,
I can feel that.
That would be really cool. Actually, I think that'd be a really good way to tell the story and jump around, but have a through line. That's fun.
That'd be interesting to see. It's on my list. It's probably floating around 10. It's going to be out on the same day as Barbie. So Nolan and Barbie are going head to head at the box office.
That's going to be an interesting battle.
Yeah, sure. So what wins? The commercial appeal of Barbie or the box office lure of Chris Nolan?
Which one would I
answer? Battle for the ages.
I think I have the
Barbie
answer,
actually...
but it's not,
No, go ahead, Fred. I'm sorry.
Gonna win. I think it's Barbie that's going to win because again,
I think so too.
The family experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Barbie was actually my number 8. So it was one above Oppenheimer. So I think initially Barbie's going to destroy the box office. Barbie's going to maybe for the first 2 weeks, but I do think Oppenheimer, depending on how the story is told, it could have more longevity. I think after a while, it'll build up and either match or surpass Barbie over time.
Yeah, because he would have to come back from
or just in the long run, it might become a cult thing. Over years, people will go yes, Oppenheimer, but Barbie might fade into obscurity a bit more.
I mean, I'm super excited for Barbie.
No, yeah, I like the cast for Barbie.
Yeah,
it's something when I was a kid, I used to as boys, when we're kids, we're just Barbie, Hot Wheels, and soldiers and all these things. But now I'm here, a 30-year-old man. I'm I'm down to see Barbie.
But they acknowledge this. That's what's funny is that they play it for laughs. And I know it's a stupid question, but I have to ask it: is Barbie film in IMAX or not? Is it
honestly?
I don't know if Oppenheimer in IMAX.
Okay.
It should be interesting. It should be in IMAX. I mean, the teaser trailer alone was beautiful. It was an absolute...
inventive. I'll say that. I was not expecting the callbacks to 2001.
2001, yeah.
I mean, it was almost frame by frame. It was beautiful.
It was clever.
Once they announced this movie and they announced Margot Robbie was Barbie, and then afterwards they did Ryan Gosling as Ken, I was like, you know what? You got me. I'm going to pay money to go see this. Yeah, he is. I don't know who he is, but yeah.
And Greta Gerwig is the director, and she's fresh off of Little Women, which I enjoyed.
I did enjoy, but it's a movie that I would have just seen once. I remember enjoying the movie, and I was I like this.
Added to my collection, no, but I watched it, and I was like, I enjoyed that movie.
Gave me the feels. But yeah, she's gotten there was another movie she did Lady Bird.
Right?
I forget that actress, but she was in that movie.
Saoirse Ronan.
Thank you. She was in there too.
No. Considering it's in Greta Gerwig's hand, I think I think people can say, okay, it's a safe bet, because if it was anybody else, I think it was be just a commercial, normal blockbuster, but like with poor storytelling. But we know it's going to be a little upper than that with Greta Gerwig. So yeah. So I don't know how if I'm primed for it, but I guess my girlfriend wants to go see it, so I guess I'll go with her.
We're gonna round the boys up together. We're gonna have guys' night out. We're gonna go see
guys'
Barbie.
night.
I'm down for that.
Rent a limo, pull up to
pink. Yeah, let's get a pink Hummer and just go down to the AMC. Yep.
And be like with our suits and everything. We'll just be like the opening of Entourage or something. But we're gonna like Barbie screening.
It has to be like sequin suits though, like really over the top.
Like we're all wearing like pink and white suits.
Yes.
I do have a movie that I'm more curious about because Michael B. Jordan is directing Creed, and it's his directorial debut.
Creed 3.
So I am a big fan of Jonathan Majors ever since The Five Bloods.
Did you see Devotion?
No, not yet. And that's like one of his only movies I haven't seen yet.
I quite liked it.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that, because it's gonna push me to go see it now. But I'm stoked to see Jonathan Majors in this. He's gonna bring the heat, and we could all talk about Ant-Man later, but he's gonna bring the heat in Creed. And I'm just curious to see Jordan's directorial debut this year.
Yeah, I put it on my list as well. I'm a big fan of the first Creed movie. Like, it's probably just as good as the OG Rocky, in my opinion, if not maybe even better.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the second one, but nowhere near as much as the first.
I think the second one was just fan service, because the moment they showed Drago's name, it was like, oh yeah, fan service, which was cool, but whatever.
Yeah. So with the third one, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for a story that feels more like that original first one.
Agreed.
And I'm very curious to see how Michael B. Jordan will fare as a director. He's a very talented actor.
Yes. But Coogler had his hand in it story-wise, right? I believe.
I think he's credited as either on story or maybe on screenplay, but like as a co.
I thought he was a producer.
Maybe a producer.
I thought that too. I can check.
Yeah. Stallone is not involved in this one whatsoever.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, because Stallone he helped with the story on Creed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and he also
on the first one
and co-starred. It's like Stallone was very involved.
The rights don't belong to him anymore, or something like that, right?
From what I read, Jordan just wanted to move out of like Rocky's shadow, and he was just like, "Sorry, Sly, like you're out on this one. We're doing this on my own."
And Sly just said yes. Just like, okay.
Now he's doing that show.
He
on Paramount, I think.
Tulsa King.
Yes.
Yeah. So Coogler did the screenplay and the story.
Yes, I see that here.
Okay.
But yeah, it's he kind of got edged out because I think the rights are with the studio now. I don't think he owns them anymore. Yeah.
So it's kind of like James Cameron Terminator. Like, Cameron at this point can't directly make a Terminator movie due to some weird rights issue with the studio, and it's kind of bogus.
Yeah, I think it's like they're always going to be regulated to like executive producers or something like that.
And that's why we got those other movies. Well, the last one I enjoyed, but the one before that I did not care for.
Genesis.
Terminator?
Genesis. I think it was Genesis. I didn't care for.
Genesis was the one with
Emilia Clarke. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, Emilia
Clarke. Didn't care for it.
Yeah,
but the one after that I did like. I enjoyed that one.
Dark Fate was not bad, but I'm gonna beat the drum that Terminator Salvation is a solid movie.
We spoke about this last time.
It's not bad. Yeah, we did. It's a good film, Terminator Salvation.
Yeah, underappreciated, I would say.
Very much so.
Yeah. I'll just throw it in quickly because there's not going to be too much to say on it, but at least people will be a little surprised by it. But there's going to be a French language version of Three Musketeers coming out this year. It's going to be in 2 parts, and the trailer's out, so I would recommend anyone just go and watch the trailer. But Eva Green's going to be in it, and Vincent Cassel will be in it, and it's going to be this like grounded historical look at the Three Musketeers. So it's not going to be too much like over the top adventure. It's going to look more like a Ridley Scott movie, and there's like, I think they said they had 9,000 extras for
I like that.
the movie.
Wow.
Like
Have my attention,
hundreds upon hundreds of
I
horses.
just think of a battle.
And
Yeah, just like it's all out big, and like I said, they're filming it in 2 movies. So I think the first one's out in May, and the second one's out in November. Just color me very intrigued. And they filmed on location on places like in Versailles and at the Louvre, and the movie just has this like big scope about it, and I'm just very interested to see it because I think Three Musketeers is one of those stories that everyone knows, but I think it's always done in almost like a cartoony kind of way. Especially
It's
the
very,
last one with Orlando.
almost-
the last one with Orlando Bloom. Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it
always
was
like a kid
yeah.
friendly or made for like the younger viewer, I feel.
Or emphasizes the adventure more than the historical aspect of it. So I just wanted to throw that in there because I think a lot of people probably aren't aware about it. And with Vincent Cassel and Eva Green in it, I think there's a lot of talent involved with the cast.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's way overdue that they're doing like a French movie on the Three Musketeers, which was one of the biggest French literary work from Alexandre Dumas. So I mean, no, it's for sure I'm gonna watch it. It's time. So it's gonna be great. But you were talking about Ridley Scott, and I think I'm gonna bring up one movie, but that we haven't discussed, and I think it's not even no marketing material, no promotional material on it as of now. But it's scheduled for 2023. But Napoleon is scheduled for 2023 with Joaquin Phoenix as Napoleon.
I have that on my list as
well.
It's gonna be Apple TV Plus. That one.
Really? Not a theater experience.
Well, I don't know if Apple's going to throw it on the theater or not. That's the interesting thing. There's a few big movies coming out next year, like Napoleon and Killers of the Flower Moon. And I don't know if they're going to get theatrical runs. And I feel like Napoleon, from what I've read about it, needs to be seen on the big screen.
Yeah, that's what I'm really surprised that it's only on Apple TV Plus, because I think that Ridley Scott has that respect for the big screen experience. So especially for like, I don't know, an historical biopic like this, non-fiction fiction, like you said, Jay. But this is going to be a good one. And again, good talent involved and whatnot. I think it's just sucks a little bit that it's not a French actor playing Napoleon, but again, like I'm sure Joaquin is going to do a good job. But I know that Ridley is an uneven director in terms of what he delivers, like in the recent years. So it's hard to say what to expect if it's going to be good or not. But
from what I've read about the Napoleon movie, even though it's called Napoleon and Napoleon's going to be like the focus point, the POV character will be his wife, who will be played by Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah.
And she's going to be like looking at his career and his like ascension, but from her point of view. And I think that's a very interesting decision.
I think he was really.
So I thought this was actually
a lot. That's good.
Yeah, I thought it was actually going to be more of like a historical, I guess, biopic, and like maybe have bigger sets and like maybe like within like the wars and the conquering and stuff. But I guess if they're framing it through his wife, it might take a whole other tone. So maybe the movie's smaller than we think.
From what I hear, again, we don't have trailers, but I think I saw in an interview that Ridley Scott said there's going to be 6 major battles in the movie.
6.
Oh wow! So that's pretty big itself.
Yeah,
6 battles in a 2-3 hour movie.
That's a lot. So I don't know how long.
Gladiator didn't have 6. Kingdom of Heaven didn't have 6. I think I'm trying to remember.
Kingdom of Heaven had a bunch of small skirmishes, but maybe 2 big battles, and maybe like 3 skirmishes.
Good.
And
good
I will beat the drum. I will keep beating that drum. Kingdom of Heaven director's cut is a fantastic movie.
I do sponsor that though. I don't know if you gents, Justin.
I've never seen the director's cut.
The director's cut elevates a movie that was like a 2.5-star movie
to
like a 4.5. Like it dramatically elevates the material.
Yeah.
It's like an
watch
extra,
it.
like,
Find it on Blu-ray on
40
Amazon. I think it's not expensive, but watch it. It's worth it.
I bought a copy. It was like $7 Canadian, but I think there's roughly 45 additional minutes thrown into the movie. And you were like, why was all this cut? It's super important information.
Yeah, it's
But,
nowhere
I'll
available.
definitely check that out.
Really
But
stop the
yeah,
right. And
I'm sure you can find that.
I think
Wow.
I know Michael Mann's got a movie coming out as well this year. Kind of going off of that topic of big directors from maybe like yesteryear coming out with bigger movies again. But Michael Mann did Heat, Collateral, and he's going to be doing a biopic on Ferrari with Adam Driver.
Yes, true. Mm-hmm.
So coming off of Ford v Ferrari,
choice.
I'm excited.
Yeah, Adam Driver. But yeah,
we were actually talking about Adam Driver. Yeah, we were actually talking about him the other day. Well, in one of our
for 65.
For 65.
Dude, I'm so excited for 65. I was gonna actually bring that up as like one of my next ones.
Yeah,
we were talking about how we needed more original sci-fi that's not Marvel. And again, I'm not hating on Avatar, but just something that's not so big. It seems out of left field, and that sells it for me.
Yeah, it looks like it's a Turok type of movie where he's just surviving like around all these dinosaurs. I'm all for it. Give me it.
I had put it on my draft for anticipated articles before the trailer came out because I saw that Adam Driver's coming out with a sci-fi movie, but the description that I saw at the time didn't specify the dinosaurs. So I was already like, Adam Driver and sci-fi. I'm like, I'm already interested. But then the trailer came out. I was like, the trailer's just called 65. I'm like, all right, like what's it going to be like? Is the ship called 65 or something like that? So I went in without knowing the dinosaur angle and I pressed play. And then the dinosaurs came in. I'm just like, this movie just went from like being, I'm intrigued to holy crap, I'm super excited for this movie because, as you said, kind of reminiscent of Turok. And I think after the Jurassic World movies, we need to make dinosaurs scary again.
Yeah, what a huge middle finger to the Jurassic World franchise. I mean, if this movie succeeds, 65 succeed.
Hope so.
During Jurassic World Dominion was a piece of shit. I'm like, all right, Jurassic World, man, you need to rethink your game here because
Dominion was such a letdown for me.
It was bad.
I was so upset.
My most disappointed movie of last year.
That's so sad because I haven't seen the second one yet, but
the second one's
the third
okay.
one makes the second one look good.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And the only saving grace for me with that movie was directly after that I saw Top Gun Maverick, so I didn't end my day on a bad note. But
we did back to back.
Oh yeah. I had a Tuesday off when I wasn't doing anything, and I got my tickets beforehand, so I got like, discount movie Tuesday tickets.
Yeah,
and I spent 6 hours, 7 hours almost in the theater. It was fantastic.
So you saw Jurassic World first, kind of left going, and then went in. Top Gun, had a religious experience.
Oh yeah. When I drove home,
it's not in a robe. It was just like
when I drove home, I was flying. I was flying a jet. That's what that was. It wasn't a car anymore. It was an actual fighter jet.
That's good.
All right. I love that. We talked about Marvel and don't want to hate on it. Things like you mentioned Jonathan Majors. Personally, there's not too much Marvel on the horizon to be excited for.
If we're talking about Marvel in its entirety, Spider-Man and Ant-Man. I said Aquaman. Spider-Man and Ant-Man to me. Yep. Ant-Man looks like it's going to be the Guardians too, but the thing is it's ending, so I'm sure it's going to be good, but Ant-Man, when it comes to the MCU going forward, I think is going to be that shift. And I want it to be that thing that kind of brings back all the people that are don't have that much faith in Phase 4. And I'm one of those people. There are only like maybe 2 movies that I cared about. It's Spider-Man and Strange.
Which ones? Okay.
So I hope Ant-Man does that for me. And
for me, it's probably Spider-Man and Shang-Chi.
And
I
that's not
forgot
wrong. I
about
see that.
Shang-Chi. Yeah, Shang-Chi was good. I forgot.
I'm
It was
just not
so
a big
early in
fan
the
of the third
phase.
act of Shang-Chi.
Yeah, it was so early.
Yeah, it was early. There's other things that happened on Disney Plus, but yeah, Phase 4 was inconsistent. We'll put it nicely at inconsistent.
Well, I think first half of Phase 4 was they blew their load. WandaVision, and then we had Loki, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange. And then right after that, it's very apparent there is a quality dip in everything. And I was a fan of She-Hulk. I loved the series and how it went. I kind of was indifferent for Miss Marvel. I was really upset with Thor 4. There was just so much. To your point, it was very inconsistent.
Thor is my favorite comic book character, and I felt they did him wrong. Yeah,
they did.
Yeah,
I think it was, and that was to me like, again, it is the studio, but I think it was one of those things where I can see Suits, and I'm not gonna blame Feige, but I can see Suits saying, Ragnarok was funny. Let's do the same thing, but for part 4, and they dropped the ball.
Is that a Suits problem or is that a Taika problem?
That could be a Taika problem, but I think honestly, that's a good question, because
I think it was the Suits, because Taika doesn't necessarily kind of like rehash his stuff.
Yeah,
like he has a brand of humor, but I can see him like if he was truly given free reign, I don't think that movie would have been that.
Yeah, I think that like Taika would have done better. I think there was a lot of they're like, we like what you did, keep doing this, because that wasn't Taika saying that. That was not him. It was, but
it was Taika. It was almost like a parody of Taika, and Taika's good at satire and parody. So
exactly,
it was weird. I think it left a bit of a Phase 4 left a bit of a bad taste in my mouth. So I'm looking over. I'm like, what am I excited for? I'm super duper excited for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I think Into the Spider-Verse is a moving piece of art. So super excited about that. But I'm looking over the MCU in general, not even like this year, but we're getting Spider-Man love in the back. But I'm looking over like what we've seen announced, Phase 5 and what we know of Phase 6. And I'm like, I guess I'm a little excited. There's a lot of indifference on the horizon for me. Yeah. The only movie I'm truly excited for in the MCU going forward that we have a like kind of confirmation about is Secret War.
Yeah.
Yes, we had the same conversation not too long ago.
With the new big bad, I feel like, I don't want to say it's last minute, but in the last maybe 3 to 5 years, Kang was a last minute big bad. Like we need a new Thanos, and they were like, let's just have him be that big bad.
And because of the Disney Plus shows, it accelerates the timeline a little bit. Like usually the phases last 4 years, maybe back in the day.
Yeah.
Phase 4 lasted what?
And also you got the time jump. Now. Yeah, you got the time jump as well with the 5 year. So it's like everything is taking place 5 years. So normally people were able to follow that because it was concurrent with our actual reality. Mm-hmm. Now you have this time jump where everything takes place 5 years ahead. It's hard to like follow because it's like, oh yeah, like this takes place during Christmas, and it's like it makes sense. So I think when Iron Man 3 was out, it was Christmas time. So it was like it made sense. Mm-hmm. But
you also have to remember there's things like COVID affected the release schedule.
And that is true.
It pushed everything out more. So this phase was supposed to be shorter. Yeah. This phase was supposed to be shorter.
Yeah. Which is baffling because it's squeezing so much content in, and you're getting like a movie a quarter, you're getting a show a quarter. So you're getting like 8 titles a year, let's say. Whereas like, let's say Phase 2, you got what? 6 movies?
Original slate, I think, was 1 movie a year. And then after that, they started to do like, I think it was 2 every other year.
Yeah.
So we're just ramping up, and we're going into
it's just the shows now.
A little bit
of shows now is what really
I did
pushes it forward.
not to like change the subject entirely, I did watch this video on YouTube. It was like 25 minutes long. And something that the key words that stuck out to me was like novelty, like the beginning of Marvel Studios. Like it was great. Now it's just like what I see is Marvel Studios is getting too big for their bridges. And they're just like, yeah, we can do this. And they're just throwing stuff out there. And I think they're trying to kind of recreate what they did before. But it's hard because they had this plan. And we heard in the news that they're doing this. They did their retreat to have a plan for the rest of the next 10 years. But right now they're just throwing darts at a black wall.
It's a little worrying, but I don't think it's as worrying as DC.
Oh, well, I'm not worried. And if you've heard me and Justin talked about in our podcast, I'm not worried about DC in the sense that I'm upset about the restructuring, but James Gunn is very competent. I'm gonna follow him to the ends of the earth for his new plan because there is a plan. I'm gonna miss Henry Cavill, but again, the way I see it is I don't have control over these major characters. This is owned by a studio. I'm gonna wait till I see a trailer or stills before I make decisions.
But I think because there is a plan, and we know there's a plan, and it doesn't include Henry Cavill, etc., it does make my excitement for the 2023 DC slate that much less.
It's
excited.
non-existent.
Yeah, I'm like, why do I get excited for like Shazam or Aquaman?
I'm agreeing to all that.
Like
I'm just more focused on Flash because Flash has the like in-world ability to retcon things. So I'm wondering what that's gonna do. But anything else, I don't care for.
We can have.
I'm glad you mentioned Flash because Flash was, and Sean is I think is tired of hearing me. Flash is one of my most anticipated movies of 2023 because I was so freaking like hyped to see Michael Keaton back as Batman. And this movie I think is still on the ice. And I think that this is going to be the one that is going to break or not, like what's going to happen next, or if people have still faith in the Snyderverse. And if the numbers, I mean, if they do decide to release this both on HBO Max and in theaters at the same time, the numbers are incredible in terms of the box office. Then they're going to say, okay, well, there's still potential with that universe. Maybe we'll see if we can still inject some more money to the storytellings of those characters, except Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck. But yeah, I just hope they're going to release it this year. I don't know, but just fingers crossed. I really want to see the Flash.
But Ezra Miller might still be in, like, going forward, and I'm like, that seems like a weird decision to make.
So it's slated for June 23rd, right? The Flash, and I've had so many feelings about the Flash in the DC EU proper.
Specifically, the actor.
Specifically with Ezra,
it's hard to get excited because
I don't like him as the Flash, you know, outside of all the other issues that have been going on with him. I don't like him as the Flash. I do not. I think he is I think he's a problem that he's called Barry Allen. Now, if he would have been Wally West, I would have been okay with that. Because the characters, the actual like makeup of Barry Allen to me does not fit Ezra Miller's Flash at all.
Like the guy that got on the CW,
Grant Gustin. He was more Barry Allen.
I still say it to this day. They should have gave him $1.7 billion and made him do the movie, and we would have been in a whole other situation. Yeah, it would have been a real property because that is my Barry Allen. Grant Gust, and you know, for better or for worse, the show is inconsistent, but him as an actor, that is the Barry Allen character, and they should have made it a thing.
I agree.
But I was hyped to see you know, Michael Keaton's return, and I'm pretty sure they actually nixed that now, didn't they? Didn't they remove it?
Not officially.
Oh, okay.
They removed like he was supposed to play in Batgirl, and Batgirl they just canceled the whole movie. But the
from
Flash
what I read,
still...
Ben Affleck is out, and Henry Cavill is out, and maybe Gal Gadot is out because they were supposed to have
Okay.
cameos.
I
in it.
remember-
So as of right now, I'm looking at a Variety article, and it looks like Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton are still in the movie. Nothing
Okay.
else for any other cameos, but it looks like those two are still there.
I remember when originally Cyborg was supposed to be in it, and
Yep.
I would have been all for it because to me, I just thought of Flashpoint. Cyborg was a big player in that storyline, but then we know
And they set that up.
the issue with
you know-
they did with the issue with the actor and the company. I understand like that's a whole different thing, but again, it's this weird greed thing and this pettiness and ego. It's like, let the guy play Cyborg. I remember. Did you guys see Peacemaker?
I haven't.
No, I want to see it though. I haven't.
I still haven't
Okay,
even
so
seen
I'm not
the
gonna say
Suicide
anything.
Squad.
If you guys see it, you'll know what I'm talking about when you.
That
finish
Suicide
it.
Squad is great. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
It's
That's
on my
Suicide
to-do
Squad I've
list.
saw, yeah.
Which
Yeah,
Suicide
so-
Squad? Oh, you mean the second
second
one,
one.
the
Yeah.
refreshed?
Yeah.
It was good.
Refreshed
It
one,
wasn't.
yeah.
It wasn't like
It
anything.
was okay.
crazy.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah.
I
You
mean,
need to
it's way
see-
better than that first one.
Compared
Yeah.
to the Suits first movie, yeah, it's better.
You
than
need
that.
to see
But
the Suicide Squad to see Peacemaker.
Yes.
Yes. I
Noted.
think so.
But I think, from what I remember, because I watched it in the first episode, they do like recap what happened to why he ended up where he ended up. But to get more of his character and how he ended up there, you would have to see the movie.
Okay.
The movie's
yeah.
definitely worth it. The movie's a good time.
Yeah,
I mean, it got James Gunn, the big chair. So
the big yeah.
I would imagine it's at least pretty solid.
Yeah.
But even with the rest of the DC slate, like I said, with Shazam, it's coming out first, and I'm like,
Yeah,
trust-
Aquaman.
Shazam. I don't care
Aquaman
about
coming out
Shazam.
in December.
I don't know if I should watch it. I've seen the first one.
we're in
so
the same
late,
boat.
I'm like,
We're in the same boat.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We all
Shazam is
all
one
know
of my
what-
favorite
I'm
favorite
sorry.
DC characters.
I'm
And
sorry,
it's-
Justin.
It's sad.
It
It's
should have
really
started
sad.
out with Black Adam, and they ruined
Yep.
it. So that's
Yep.
that's me as a writer. If I would have worked for DC for free, and I would have gave all you guys the perfect slate. Black Adam should have been the first movie, and then Shazam. But then that's just my opinion.
No, it's true.
should have
They
been.
should have done Black Adam first. Yeah. But considering I think we're over an hour, I think we can reserve the last few minutes that we have together with two films I think we haven't talked about, and they're I think really hyped for geeks like us. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but Mission Impossible 7 and John Wick 4, is that?
I mean,
yeah.
those are my 2 and 3 personally.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that
we
those
have to
two
talk
we
about
need
that.
to
Those
talk
those
about
made
for
it to my
sure.
honorable mentions.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
really? Okay.
Okay, so
interesting.
Yeah.
I actually want to go there first as to why it's not higher on your list.
So I used to be a really big Mission Impossible fan, but I stopped after Ghost Protocol. I
So
think.
you're almost
wow.
like inverse.
You missed the
of-
best of it.
Yeah, you
I know
missed-
that's
yeah.
what I've been. That's what I've been told.
Because I think I didn't see Ghost Protocol, and then I saw what was it, Rogue Nation, and what was
Yeah.
after
Rogue
that,
Nation,
Fallout.
yeah.
So I
Fallout,
saw
yeah.
Rogue
Yeah,
Nation.
Rogue
and
Nation I
Fallout.
didn't see.
And then I heard
Ghost
Ghost Protocol
Rogue
was
Nation's like-
cool.
At this point, Rogue Nation is my favorite Mission Impossible.
Rogue Nation.
So Ghost Protocol was the
Rogue
last
Nation's
one,
not
and
bad,
then I was just like I just couldn't do it anymore. And then
Yeah.
the other one, John Wick. So I really like John Wick. I saw the first two. It's only in my honorable mention because I didn't see the third one. So
It's not that great. It's good. I think it's good fun, good entertainment, but
what
it's
it
not
did, it
nothing
just went
compared
like
to the
this.
first two. Yeah.
Like what I loved about John Wick 1 and 2, it kept it nice and grounded. The world was like you could imagine the world, but I wanted to just stay
You
on
saw through
John
a
Wick.
keyhole.
Yes, and it just kept expanding. We kept opening this
Yeah.
door, and
I
then they were
do at
talking
least
about
like the
expanding the
lore.
universe with the series called The Continental, which has nothing to do
Yeah.
with John Wick.
And the
But I was
spin-off
just
called
like-
Ballerina.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's just like, and then just
and you
the
got to
way-
remember, it started as such a small project.
Yeah.
That's why the
did.
first one worked so well.
Yeah. They didn't
And I
think they
would
would do any
say-
sequels with it. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
thing about Keanu Reeves too, because he says, I'll keep doing this. I think he said I'll keep doing it if the fans want it. I'm like, yeah, but the fans sometimes don't know what they want, and you're just gonna ruin it. And I love
True,
Keanu,
though. It's a good point.
Like I would hope this is the last one.
Well, they were supposed to
good
4 and 5 at the same time, but I think COVID messed that plan up. But there is a 5th one down the pipe. I will say, kind of going off of what Fred said, 3 is the weakest in terms of story, but it's also the best in terms of action.
I don't agree.
No,
2 is better. 2 I think is better in terms of action than 3.
But penultimate fight in 3, he fights 2 of the guys from the raid, and to me that's just like catnip. Like John Wick is fighting 2 of the guys from the raid. Like that's all you need to say.
Yeah,
and,
that you're right.
Is stunt on it as well. And if you know your stunts, Tiger Chen, he's the man from Tai Chi.
Yeah,
the man. I forget the name of that movie now. The Man of Tai Chi, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
For John Wick 4, it's the same director, but they have nixed the writing team from the last 2 movies.
Oh, that's a little scary.
New writers. So that's either a great move or a risky move, but it is a slate being cleaned essentially. And from what the director was talking about, I think with Variety or Hollywood Reporter, I can't remember off the top of my head, but he said this movie, despite being more international, we're stepping away from New York for a good chunk of the movie. I think most of it's in Paris and in Japan somewhere. But he says he wanted this movie to be samurai. Specifically, he drew a lot from samurai movies, that idea of like the lone warrior going down.
It's funny that you say that, because as you're talking, I was thinking that, but then I was like, and Justin knows my beef with the Assassin's Creed franchise. I'm afraid it's going to go that route. Like for some reason they changed the writer and they decide to kill off John Wick, use his DNA to clone it. It's just, it could go that way. It can, and it's just going to ruin the entire franchise.
I hope it doesn't. I'm hoping for a bigger world, but a smaller story. And I want to see this. Like if the movie is just John wants a seat at the table, and that's the movie, and that's the focused micro story within like the larger story, I'll be really happy with that. And I feel like the trailers have been promising that. I don't know if the movie will deliver that. Table?
So you say that because because I know his thing kind of like the Hulk, where he wants to find peace. You think he will find peace there?
I think if he's on the table, which is what the trailer almost seems to be suggesting, he won't have people like constantly chasing him. Essentially,
I agree with that. I agree. I am wholeheartedly for that, because if his goal is chasing peace, that is the only solution.
It's almost like from within you have to achieve it.
Well, give me like a. I want to see. Obviously, we're going to see him fight Donnie Yen.
And that was a great cast.
I can't wait for that because I love him. I love Ip Man. But I also love him in Rogue One, which I feel like doesn't get enough love. But yes.
Also, if you want to get like super obscure, if you want to do something like Killzone SPL, which is a Hong Kong action movie from like 2006, and he's got this awesome corridor fight scene, and it's just dope. Awesome. You need to watch it.
I will watch it just for that scene.
Yeah, just Google Killzone fight scene, and you'll probably get it. And then at the end, he fights the other guy from Rogue One, the other Chinese actor. Yeah. He's into this insane judo fight with him.
That's so cool. So I wanted to see that, and then John Wick 5. Let John Wick kill Donnie Yen. John Wick 5, it's his son coming for revenge. Just give me that. Give me that. Round it out.
I don't know.
He kills John Wick at the end. That's how he gets peace. Done. Just
you know what I want? It's total fan service, but you know what I want? Head of the table, Carrie-Anne Moss. Make the Trinity Matrix.
No, because that's I always say I wanted Trinity, Carrie-Anne Moss. I wanted her to show up in the franchise just to complete it. We have Lawrence Fishburne. Why not just bring her back? Not? Just that.
I mean, they're literally quoting the Matrix when they're like, "What do you need?" And he's like, "Guns.
Give me a gun." Like, somebody please
give this man a gun.
But to rebound on what Jay said, I think that as same for me. I think that I would end the franchise with maybe either John Wick 4 or John Wick 5, because I think that even though we like to think there's like unlimited possibilities with this universe, even if John Wick dies, I think that it has its limits in how interested and invested we're going to be in like future movies. So, because at the end of John Wick 3, I was just like, oh, okay. Like, okay, they're going to be doing more movies, but I'm not that invested anymore. I think that the magic is like fading away a little bit. But I like watching the movies for the action, but everything else, not so much. So I think that they should wrap this up quickly. And again, maybe John Wick dies. I think that would be the best kind of ending for sure. But when will that happen? Hard to say.
Yeah, not to spoil it for
finally,
Justin.
He's gonna get a puppy. He's gonna get a puppy, and it's gonna be a bomb, and that's how he's gonna.
Not to spoil it for Justin, but as the movie was ending, I was like, "Wait, this is continuing. This is not happening." And
this is still
I don't want that same feeling for part 4,
unless it's an obvious like cliffhanger, which I'm sure, nice segue, will be the case for Mission Impossible because it's called Part 1. And I told Fred this before, but I would assume that means that the villains of the movie are going to win this one.
Win at the end of the first one.
Kind of like Infinity War.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like an Infinity War, Empire Strikes Back, whatever bad plan that the bad guys have in this one, which by the looks of it, I'm guessing chemical warfare of some sort. I'm guessing like a city gets like decimated or something, and then they're going to have to lick their wounds and come back for part 2.
And they kill off one of the regulars, I think. Either Ving
I was just going to say,
Rebecca Ferguson. I think that's going to happen as well. Yeah.
And do you think that they have to never get stale? Or because I feel like Mission Impossible always one-ups itself.
In terms of action?
No, just movie in its entirety. Like, I'm here waiting for a Mission Impossible 17, and I'm like, this is gonna keep going, and not like I don't think John Wick has that same
momentum.
Yeah, so I feel like,
but you also have to remember,
going until Tom Cruise stops.
Well, Mission Impossible also like regained that momentum because there was a pretty big, there was a pretty big falling out around that like 4 or 5.
Yeah, even around 2.
No, it was like earlier. It was before Protocol.
Yeah, I would
because
say
3 had a pretty big return.
It was after 3 because 3 was a disappointing at the box office, so they
which one did Abrams do? Was it 2 or 3?
Abrams did 3, and then Tom Wu did 2.
Got it.
So then I feel like it has to end. I mean, Tom Cruise is one of those things where I think he would keep doing it and doing a bigger and bigger stunt until he ends up
until it kills him.
Yeah, until he literally ends up burning up on the moon. I mean, on the sun.
Like on atmosphere or something.
Yeah, like he's gonna free fall from space to re-enter the atmosphere. Like that's gonna be the final stunt.
Don't give him ideas.
He's listening to us right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's one of those franchises, kind of like Fast and Furious. They're constantly upping the action, but that's
Fast
like
X
really
is not
fading. Like you gotta
that's not story at this point. It's like
it's just like
cool, but
now we're going to space. Like
I'll say that at least Mission Impossible has been telling very interesting stories, and like the acting has been good.
A big difference. Yeah,
and I'm fully engaged. Whereas like Fast 9, I was watching it and I was laughing at the movie. I'm like, what am I watching? And
I don't even remember Fast 9.
I didn't see Fast 9.
It wasn't really.
I had to stop.
I think
I was tempted to stop.
I stopped caring after Paul Walker.
Yep.
I stopped caring after Paul Walker.
Yeah,
that was the last one that I saw.
But Fate of the Furious was kind of good though. Fast 8
it had its moments, but Fast 9
I think what bothered me, is that the one where The Rock moves a torpedo? Saw the trailer, didn't care for it. I saw the movie when it was on TV, but I just wasn't like, this is a good movie.
Yeah. And I'll say, like, I have a soft spot in my heart for some of those Fast and Furious movies. Chiefly,
Oh, and I'm sure we all
the first
do.
one, the third one, and the fifth one for me.
Yeah, Fast Five is
I think I
freaking
could believe
Oh
awesome.
well,
those
yeah.
same exact
Fast Five
numbers.
is like a
Fast Five is
yeah.
amazing, but I have a soft spot for Tokyo Drift. Like,
Tokyo Drift. Come on, we
Yeah,
got that
we grew up with
amazing
that.
club
With the flip
scene.
phones that just didn't make
the
sense in
flip
its
phone,
timeline.
yeah. We're watching
The
a movie in
incredible-
like 2006. Like, how are they streaming?
Yeah.
The Incredible Hulk car with Bow Wow, everything. It was perfect.
It's one of those
Wow,
like
yeah.
it's so bad it's good.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and the first one's just riffs heavy on Point Break, but I don't care. I still really like it. But Fast Five was awesome.
Yeah, Fast
But to
Five
get back
was
to
amazing.
yeah, but to get back to Mission Impossible, am I mistaken, or did they say, I think in not in Variety, but in some media or something, that Tom Cruise agreed to do, I think, 7 and 8, and then he was done, or something like that, or they want to start to close the loop on the Ethan Hunt character? Maybe I'm
not
mistaken, but I
sure.
heard somewhere that I think he said like, okay, it might be like my
If
final
this
two
is
movies.
if this is true, it is false because we know Tom Cruise. He gets
Yeah.
high on adrenaline.
Yeah,
That's true.
If this
but-
is true,
look at
this is
Tom Cruise in
false.
the 80s doing like Born on the 4th of July and then like Rain Man. And then look at him today. Like that guy clearly has I'm gonna cheat death complex going on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's gonna kill himself eventually doing this stuff for sure.
I'm
And he would be
almost certain.
happy.
He's like, I did it.
Yeah.
He's
Because
gonna
in
end up
the
doing
Hunt-
like
yeah.
he's gonna do a war movie with real guns and no
Oh,
like
no.
bulletproof vest.
Like that's
I
what
was
he did with
watching-
the Last Samurai. It was all real katanas, but he just survived it somehow.
He was the actual last surviving cast member. There's just like 10 minutes behind the scenes of the stunts for Dead Reckoning where he's like jumping off of the ramp. And you get
Yeah,
to see
with the
like
motorcycle.
behind the scene. There's a part in that it's like a 10-minute video. You can find it on YouTube. And he goes off the ramp for the first time and he's about to go into free fall. And the doc cuts to Christopher McQuarrie, the director, and he's watching the monitor. The guy looks like he is about to have a heart attack because they're waiting for someone to yell, I see a canopy. And until Tom Cruise's safety was guaranteed, he was so wound up because he's like, I realized the danger of these stunts. And he didn't look giddy. He looked terrified. And I think that
Well,
is
I
a
mean, you're
testament.
literally watching a human almost die. So
Yeah.
Yeah. He did
And
that
he's
free fall into the
responsible.
forest that's supposed to be like an impossible jump. He did it. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. But just I think Macquarie's face, like watch it and look for Macquarie's face. And that'll show you how hard Tom Cruise is pushing himself for our entertainment. When the director is not excited, but
That is not,
scared.
yeah. I never want, like, if in my life, if I ever become a director, I never want to be in that position because then now
Exactly.
my life, that person's life is in my hands, but technically not because he's just doing his own thing or she.
Yeah, 'cause
And
Tom
I'm like,
Well,
Cruise
he's
is
a producer, right, of the
Yeah.
film, so
Yeah.
I think he can do basically whatever he wants. So if he
But it's
dies,
still
it's just like, oh, well,
Macquarie's,
all right.
it's the
They're
Macquarie's rodeo
insured.
at the end of the day. Like he's the
Yeah.
director, and sure, there's insurance
and you got to remember
producers.
it's the legacy of him too, right? Like
guess.
that'll follow him for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
Like
I don't want it.
I don't remember the director's name, but can anyone name the director of The Crow?
Yeah, exactly.
No, exactly, yeah. I know.
That was
no, I
pretty
don't
much
remember.
it, right?
Yeah, like, we remember
True.
Brandon Lee, but
Good.
I couldn't tell you the director of The Crow, and I don't
Good example.
know
Good,
if he's
good
had much of a
comparison.
career.
Yeah.
I'm going to look that up because that's crazy. You're right.
Watch, it's
Yeah.
gonna be like Christopher Nolan or something. Like
Any
imagine.
other major titles we missed from 2023? I mean, we
So-
missed a few for sure, but major movies.
So one
Um,
thing that I do want to bring
um,
up, it seems like it's going to be a refresh of the franchise, and I'm all for it from when I heard the title. So the new Transformers: Rise of the Beast. I've had massive Transformers fatigue. After the fourth one, I was just like, "This is garbage."
Oh, you actually saw the
Um,
fourth.
Yeah, I
You
actually
watched
went
the
to
fifth
I
see
didn't
the
one?
see
fourth
the
one.
fourth nor the fifth.
I didn't
I'm
watch the
bad on
fifth one.
Star
I
Wars.
saw the fourth
Yeah.
one because my favorite Decepticon is Soundwave, and he was finally getting his on-screen moment.
I watched
Um,
the Cinema Sins, and that was enough.
Yeah, it is. So I watched 3 for Grimlock, and then I watched 4. Or no, I think 4 had Grimlock and Soundwave actually. But anyway, Rise of the Beast, it hit me right in the nostalgia heart. And when I was looking at it and watching the trailer when it released, I just really like the direction that they're going in. I love that it's 90s New York. I really am a big fan of Anthony Ramos. I like how some of the robots are kind of like more like the 80s G1 aesthetic, you know? So I'm actually happy with the direction it's going in. And I'm also really hyped to see how they tackle the time thing with the Beast being in the same timeline.
I would say
I
definitely
enjoyed
check
Bumblebee.
out Bumblebee before
Yeah,
seeing
Bumblebee was pretty solid. I enjoyed it. I will say that the Beasties trailer was a weird trailer. The choice of using Biggie in the trailer was bizarre, I found.
it. Mm.
I was
Yeah.
like, this
I
doesn't
enjoyed it.
fit.
I was like, this is very New Yorkish, you know. So I was like, I was all in. Once I saw the actual direction of how the robots were gonna look, I was like, all right, I'm in for this one. So that's probably
I will always root for a movie to I want it to succeed. So I want it to do well.
Yeah.
And also one that I'm intrigued by is my number 10 on my list. Wonka comes out in December. The Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, Wonka. Yeah, with Timothy
Chalamet.
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 Oh no, we just always say every time we
always
mention
mess up his name on purpose.
Timothy Chalamet. I think that's it. Yeah.
That one. That guy.
Yeah,
But
that guy.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. I mean, I'm a fan of Willy Wonka. Like, I enjoyed the Johnny Depp version. I would like to see a kind of like origin story of Willy Wonka. I was like, all right, why not?
Who's directing?
I'll
It's
throw
not
in,
Tim Burton, right?
No, it's
No.
not Burton. Who's directing that one? I'll throw in.
I think it's the guy who
I'll
did
throw
The
in-
Crow.
Oh,
Big comeback.
Just to
with
give
Wonka.
you
yeah,
his name,
his big comeback of
we're
the
probably
year.
gonna
Yeah.
forget his name, but his name is Alex Proyas.
Alex Proyas, but Alex Proyas actually did some things after The Crow. He
did Gods of Egypt, Dark
he
City,
did, yes.
Knowing
Okay.
iRobot.
Gods of Egypt.
Oh, he did
gosh.
iRobot. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. he
That's
did
a
some
pretty good
stuff.
one.
He did some
Yeah.
stuff.
So
All right.
Paul King is directing Wonka.
All right.
You found it? Oh, okay.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure who
Yeah, because
Paul King is.
Burton was too busy with Wednesday.
He's done Paddington and Paddington 2.
Paddington 2 is like that movie.
I saw the first
Yeah,
one,
it
not the
is.
second one, but yeah, good director, I guess.
Those seem like the biggest things that he's done.
I have one. It's kind of me and Justin laughed at this, and we just want to see it. It may not be
Is it
good.
bear? Is it bear on
Cocaine
cocaine?
Bear.
Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear.
Yes.
The movie was wild.
It looks like it's a horror comedy thriller. I love it, and it's dark, so I'm with it. And it's based on
It's based on a true story.
Such
all
a
for
cool idea, though. I mean, like as a night out with friends, you go see that film. It's gonna be a wild ride.
Yeah,
Elizabeth
that's gonna
Banks
become
is
like
directing.
Cocaine
a
Bear.
big budget camp
Perfect.
movie of the year.
Yeah.
I got
And I'm happy to see a movie
options.
like that because I feel like we don't get those type of campy, corny movies
No,
anymore.
not,
So
not
to
on that
see
scale
that-
at least.
Yeah, I was
Last
really
year I
excited.
watched a couple of really bad like horror movies with some buddies, like just go on the couch watching beers, and we watched The Velocipaster, which
What? The
If you've not
I've heard of
seen
that.
it, if you've not seen it, and then Zombievers, which
I've heard of
Zombievers is
Zombievers also.
good. I've seen it at Fantasia. It's good.
it's whack.
I like Zombievers.
Yeah, so I have a feeling it's gonna be maybe not like tonally like that, but I think spiritually it'll be like that.
For sure.
I got two movies that I'll close out my selections with. I'll just throw in quickly, but Matthew Vaugh's got a new movie coming out this year with Henry Cavill. He's the guy who did Kingsman, and it's about a spy, but the spy ends up getting amnesia, and then he becomes a best-selling spy author.
That's funny.
That's
Born
awesome.
Identity, but like, okay, the guy becomes an author. They're good.
That
Yeah.
reminds me of Kevin James's movie on
Yeah.
Netflix. but not it
Yeah.
might not be funny. That's
So
interesting.
I'm curious about it because I think Matthew Vaughn's one of those directors, kind of like Zack Snyder, where he's pretty solid. He's got a nice visual style, but maybe doesn't quite get that like prestige that he deserves. I think usually like stumbles somewhere with his direction.
Yeah, he reminds me of Guy Ritchie too. Is it Guy Ritchie?
He's friends with Guy
Yeah.
Ritchie. Like
Yeah, they
The
have
Mean
this
Machine
similar.
was produced by Guy Ritchie,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah, I can
did
see
it.
that. They have like similar kind of
Yeah,
taste.
was
in
Vaughn
terms of
involved
movies.
with Lock, Stock, or Snatch? I think he might have been a producer in one of those movies. I'll have to double
And Guy
check.
Ritchie is supposed to release another movie soon, right? The
I think it's
Aubrey
called
Plaza is in
Operation,
it.
yeah.
Operation Fortune.
And it's Opération
And then
Fortune. I think it's in a French name or something. Yeah.
The last movie that I'll put on my list, smaller movies, not like one of these like fandom geek franchise movies, but Ben Affleck's going to be returning behind the director's chair with a script that he co-wrote with Matt Damon. So already I'm
Yes,
intrigued.
I remember this.
And it's called Air Jordan, and it's about Nike's campaign to get Michael Jordan on board to create the Jordans.
Interesting.
I have not heard about this. At first, I thought
Good
you were going to say
subject.
Good Will Hunting too.
No, so Damon's in it. I think Ben Affleck's playing Steve Knight, if I'm not mistaken. Not Steve Knight, Phil Knight, the guy who wrote Shoe Dog. And Sonny Vaccaro will be Matt Damon, if I'm not mistaken. Jason Bateman's also going to be in it, and Viola Davis will be Mrs. Michael Jordan.
Good,
Oh, nice.
good topic, good subject. Like, that's cool.
That is really
I'm
cool.
gonna watch this. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
especially
coming
with
up
The
this
Last
year.
Dance coming out last year, and they
Yeah.
actually spoke about the sneaker deal and like the fight between Nike and Adidas to get him.
Exactly. So
that's
I'm very interested, and I think
that's cool.
Affleck's a solid director overall. So
Yeah.
color me intrigued.
said Last Dance, but there's Magic Mike 3, The Last Dance coming
yeah.
this year as
You
well.
know, I was this
Did
close
not
to
see
putting
the
it on my
first one.
list. I was this close to putting it on my list, and I was like, no.
I've
was
never
like,
seen any of them. So
I've seen the first one, not the second one, but
I've seen
like,
the first one as well because
the first
I'm a big fan of
seconds-
Soderbergh.
The first seconds
Oh.
of the trailer for the third one is like Channing Tatum like going down on sorry, what's her name again? Jesus
Selma
Christ.
Hayek.
Salma Hayek. I was like, okay, now you've got my attention.
I'm more interested because I'm a sucker for Soderbergh. Like he did one of my favorite movies in Ocean's 11, and I'm just like I just like his directing style. So when he did the first one, I watched it because of Soderbergh.
But he did the first
he
one,
did
not the second one, right?
He didn't do the second one, but he's
Yeah.
doing the third one again. So I'm like, Soderbergh's doing a movie. Like it's like if
Oh,
Tarantino were doing-
they J.J. Abrams him and got him
Yeah.
back for the
Oh,
final.
looks like it.
Yeah, so it's like Tarantino or somebody. Like if Soderbergh's doing a movie, it automatically has my
Yeah.
interest. So
Yeah.
like, sure, it's about male strippers, and there's going to be plenty of just abs in your face and whatnot, but
Abs and gyrating.
abs and gyrating like all over the screen, and it's not one I'll go see in cinemas because I am not the target demographic for that.
You're
It is
just the
out on
only
streaming.
man in the
Yeah, I'm the
audience.
only
You're
guy.
like,
Just like hi everyone. But I'll wait till streaming for that one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
like, I'm not
I'll do that. I'll be that guy. I'll be the only guy, and I'll do it for Barbie for sure. I don't think I'll do it for Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You know what? I
I've got a
think we
chance
can
to
all
catch me
four
at
of us
Barbie.
agree we'll go see Barbie in theater.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll go see Barbie
Comment
before we see
on it.
Magic Mike in cinemas.
Yeah.
Yes.
exactly.
Any
Anything
more
else we
final?
forgot?
Yeah, any
Yeah.
ones want to throw out?
I don't have. I,
I
think
feel like
I'm
we covered
blank.
a lot.
I think we covered a lot.
I think we
metric
like
ton.
glossed over like Marvel stuff, but I think we covered that basically in a sense.
Yeah.
Fincher's got a movie
But
coming
yeah,
out as well, but
Ant-Man or
don't know enough about it. But it is something like Fincher's got a movie coming out. Like I think that alone merits excitement. It's going to be with Michael Fassbender as well and Tilda Swinton. But again, no trailer, no images. We don't have anything about it at this point.
Yeah, David
But apart from
Fincher,
that-
for sure, we're excited.
Yeah, I'll throw out one last one. Just like it's the Hail Mary of the year, Gran Turismo, based on the video. game.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, and
quite
it's
totally
directed
forgot
by
about it as
Neil
well.
Blomkamp, who did District 9. starring
Oh.
Harbor and Orlando Bloom. And there's this behind the scenes video that they've worked on and with like the rigs that they have with the cameras. And I'll say this, if the story sucks, the cinematography does look amazing.
Well,
Because
there's
it
talent
looks like
involved.
it
Neil
looks like the
Blomkamp
game.
is a good director. Yeah.
Neil Blomkamp is a good director, and the way they have the rig set up, it looks like the video game when you have like the camera behind the car.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they're on the track, and they're using like drones as well to like get the camera like right up against like the benders of the car. And I'll be like, at least it looks good, like visually speaking. I don't know about the
I feel
story.
I feel like that's gonna be the only thing for it. Like it's gonna look really good, and that's it.
So, I put it on there as the who knows.
That's a
But
good Hail Mary toss.
yeah, it's a Hail Mary. Like
I have one more because I
All
forgot
right.
about this. Bo is Afraid.
Oh
Ah.
yeah, with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
That movie
it looks
reminds
weird.
me.
Really soon, right?
I forget the title of this movie, but is it Kate
Well, it's
Blanchett?
from
No, it's not. It's Robin
the-
Wright. There's a movie with Robin Wright where she plays herself, and she sold the rights of her likeness to a company, and basically they basically digitize her. So it just reminds me, like seeing Beau is Afraid reminded me of that movie because there's a lot of cartoonified versions of Joaquin Phoenix. I'm gonna look up that movie right now because I'm upset that it's escaping me
Some of
right
the
now.
images I've seen from that movie kind of remind me of like the AI art that's trending all over the place now, where there's like an uncanny valley, like this.
Yep.
There's something not quite right about it.
Yeah.
Well, the director, he did weird movies before, like Hereditary and Midsommar.
Yes.
So like those are very visually like kind of jarring movies. So
Hereditary was
it makes sense.
It's so
great, but it
alarming.
was so alarming.
The movie is
Saw
called
that
The
movie on the
Congress,
bus. It was
Conflict?
bad.
or
It
in
was
French is Le
intense.
Congress.
Oh, the Congress. Don't know that
Yes.
one, but I'll be looking.
That was 2013. I remember watching it in college. Weird movie, pretty good.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one myself.
Put it on my letterbox list.
I need to get on
Okay, what you
Letterboxd.
guys
You told me that I should get on that. I'm gonna have to.
You do, yeah. Still haven't,
Yeah.
but you do, man.
Still haven't, but I'm gonna have to get on.
It's calling for you.
What's Letterbox? I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, it's an app. The app with the 3 dots. Basically, you can just like rate movies, see what your friends are watching, and just like do like a watch list, do lists of
Yeah,
movies.
it's like a movie
full
watching
reviews.
social media.
We should do that.
It's
That's
a really
dope.
cool it's a really cool app, honestly. And the way it's written, because it's letterboxed with a D at the end, so letterbox all in one word, BOXD at the end. Find it on the Apple Store. But yeah, no, it's a cool register. It's a really cool app.
Brought to you by Letterboxd.
All right,
So,
gents. I think we have a round table here. I think we covered 2023 in spectacular fashion.
Yeah, man, this was fantastic. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for having us on yours. This was a lot of fun, and obviously we have to keep making this a thing.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Gotta make it more frequent.
When Barbie comes out, we're all gonna powwow afterwards and just talk.
No, we'll do a full
We'll
review of Barbie. I think we can do a full Barbie review. The
We'll-
four of us.
We'll do a full 2-hour breakdown of Barbie.
Or we'll do like we'll do 2 hours and we'll do like an hour on Oppenheimer and an hour on Barbie and see which one comes out victorious.
And see which one beats
Yes.
out. Yep.
I'm so down.
I'm down for that.
Right? I think we have a future episode in mind now.
That's a niche audience, and we're gonna hammer them
We're gonna
hard.
tap to that one.
But, all right, guys. Well, thank you again. And I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
Can't
Thanks
wait.
everyone for listening.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for
Thank you,
having us.
Thank you, guys.
And, until next time, everyone.
Till next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us all on all the things, Film and Spirits Podcast, as well as the Average Jays. We are everywhere your ears go. So if you guys want to plug something real quick, now this is time.
Basically the same thing. We're on Spotify, Apple, Anchor, Google Podcasts, and you can find us on social medias, Instagram, and then you can find The podcast also on the Screen Hub Entertainment's website, screenhub.blog.
Where Sean and I write reviews and and opinion pieces and whatnot on
And
a weekly
whatnot.
basis. And whatnot.
Go check it out. I peek at your website every now and then. I listen to you guys all the time. I love your content. But all right. So till next time, guys.
Till next time,
Thanks,
everyone.
bro.
Cheers.
Till next time. Cheers.